Let the innocent people be released because, at least in my husband's case, he's a security guard, and they brought him to our business and put him in a position of authority. This is an injustice, and we want all the innocent to be released. Gang families can't take it anymore. They totally disagree with the measures taken by President Bukele and are asking for better treatment for the prisoners. What has the president said about all this? Could it be that he has paid attention to him? Stay until the end of the video and find out. Before starting, leave your registration with the like button and subscribe to our stories. They'll surely catch you. Now, activate the bell so we can begin. Ophelia and her 2 young children have been camping for 3 days in front of a prison in San Salvador, where her husband was imprisoned, a target of President Nayib Bukele's war against gangs. But he says he's a worker. He is honored and asked for his release so he can support his family. On May 3rd, police arrested Pedro Segovia, a 55-year-old bricklayer in the city of San Miguel, 139 kilometers east of the capital. They arrested him on suspicion of collaborating with gang groups that extorted money and committed crimes. He was taken to San Salvador and imprisoned in La Esperanza, a prison, also known as Mariona de Altos Paredescuri. Ophelia Hernandez, 25, believes in Pedro's innocence and arrived in the capital like dozens of relatives of those detained during the government's offensive against gangs. At the end of March, long lines formed outside the prison. We're figuring out if they will release him or what will happen because I need to have him at home. I need his help. It's the only thing that helps me financially, explains Ophelia. To AFP, the woman told AFP that she and her children barely eat what other people give them outside the penitentiary, where a kind of camp has been set up. People sleep lying on the side of the road on plastic or cardboard sheets with the sky as a roof. War on gangs. The Bukele administration declared war on gangs after they murdered 87 people between March 25th and 27th. Bukele, 40 and widely popular, established an exceptional regime that allows arrests without a warrant as of Tuesday night. 31,500 alleged gang members have been arrested in the last month and a half, including the 16,000 who were already imprisoned before the crackdown. Currently, 47,500 of the 70,000 members presumed to be in prison are detained. Gangs, according to a journalistic investigation released Tuesday by the El Faro website, that wave of murders responded to a rupture between alleged agreements the government had with leaders of the Mara Salvatrucha, MS-13, and Barrio 18 gangs. The government, which has not addressed the issue, has previously denied negotiating with gangs. Although the U.S. Treasury Department said in December 2021 that the Bukele administration agreed to a truce with these organizations in exchange for privileges for their imprisoned leaders, Congress also approved a reform in April to punish gang members with up to 45 years in prison. The president, who will complete his 3rd year in office on June 1st, says his plan enjoys 91% support, according to a CECOT poll. Washington and international organizations have called on Bukele to fight crime while respecting human rights. I recognize the challenges we face with gangs in El Salvador. There is good intention, but it must be done in a way that respects human rights, said the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, on Wednesday. An injustice near a prison gate. Ernestina, 67, sits. Her green eyes glaze over as she remembers her son, whose name she prefers not to reveal. To avoid reprisals, he was arrested by police at the end of last April. They took him from the house without any explanation. I begged the police not to do anything to him, and yet they took him away. I have hope and faith that they will release him. He is not part of those gang groups. She maintains that for some of those who arrive at the prison, the arrests are an injustice committed by the government. For me, the president has committed an injustice by bringing in young men who have nothing to do with the others. Gang members considered. Elizabeth Hernandez, 54, who says her son is innocent, as a demonstration of certainty in the arrest operations. President Bukele often posts on Twitter images of the detainees, almost all with tattoos on their bodies that identify them as gang members. Those who are gang members have long been bothered, or they should rot in prison, says a soldier from the security cordon around the prison, while showing the large scar left by a cut on his throat that, according to him, gang members made him a while ago. The truth is, the CECOT doesn't smell bad. In fact, it smells clean. It's not hot. No one sweats. The light and some fresh air enter through the sides of a 10-meter-high curved plastic roof, similar to a greenhouse that covers both the central courtyard between cells and these, above the compartments where the prisoners live and sleep. A steel plate is installed like a mesh with holes through which they parade. Throughout the day, the guards, to watch over the inmates, wear a gray uniform the color of cement that predominates in all the rooms. A black scarf covers their faces and only a baton as a weapon. Here we are, watching all day long. There's no way to escape from here. They don't get out, said another guard, without uncovering his face. Outside the prison, there were uniformed men in riot gear. The prison is in the municipality of Tecoluca, departs from the San Vicente apartment, and has 33 blocks of construction within a 236-block lot. Inside, it is distributed in 8 pavilions, and each of them has 32 of these cells where dozens of inmates live together. The government designed the penitentiary center to house 12,000 members of the Mara Salvatrucha MS-13, Barrio 18, and Southerners and Revolutionaries gangs who, now removed from the streets, live in a strict prison regime marked by austerity. By the way, if you like the video, we invite you to give us a like and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. We continue. I'm sorry, repeated Melvin Alexander. Alvarado, when I get out, I hope that people give me another chance, said the gang member who received a sentence. From 15 years for the crime of extortion to how many did you kill while in the gang? The group of journalists asked him. He hesitated for a moment. It's something I don't even want to remember. No. In this world, everything is about killing. Every gang kills, every gang commits crimes. But I don't want to remember. Bukele promised to lift the enormous prison exclusively for gang members a few days after Congress first decreed a state of emergency in March 2022, which has been extended every month for more than a year and a half to pursue these criminal groups since then. Fundamental rights, such as the right to freedom of association and access to a lawyer, were suspended when one is arrested, and even the right to know the charges that led to their arrest. More than 90% of the people in El Salvador's prisons, including the gang's megaprison, are there without a final conviction. According to official data, as of July, the prison he has received criticism from the Washington Office for Latin American Affairs of Human Rights Watch and the Central American University Jose Simeon Canas for what they consider human rights violations and a contradiction of international standards. Juan Papier, deputy director of the Americas for Human Rights Watch, assured AP that the United Nations minimum rules for the treatment of prisoners, known as the Nelson Mandela rules, suggest that closed regime prisons not have such a high number of inmates because this can be an obstacle to the individualization of the treatment of detainees. The prison in question actually lacks reintegration programs or leisure programs. There are dining rooms, restrooms, a gym, and board games, but only for the use of security personnel, not for prisoners. Inmates who get up at 5 a.m. to roast, they receive eggs, 2 tortillas, and beans with each meal, with disposable plates and cutlery. The prison does have punishment cells, or confinement cells, as they call them. Inside, there are 3 on each side of a hallway, 6 in total. From a half-open door, only darkness comes out. They have nothing else inside. Although the Aini prison has been criticized worldwide, it's worth mentioning that the facts speak for themselves, since it's obvious that the gang members' families won't be happy. However, the goal of improving security was achieved, and in a world where decisions aren't a piece of cake, strong wills like Bukele's are needed to please everyone. It doesn't matter what is said or criticized. If the results are as desired, it means that a good decision is being made. If a portion of your population disagrees, however, at the end of the story, these are people who, even if they left El Salvador, would be doing it a favor, since even if they didn't harm the lives of many people. And so we come to the end of this video. If you liked it, I invite you to give us a like so we can continue making more videos like this. Also, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. I wish you a great day. See you next time.